And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Learn with Miss Nancy Live. And as you know, I have been inviting brothers to my shows on Tuesday at 1 o'clock because my goal is to show that our brothers are doing the work. They're taking care of their families, they're participating in the community, and they are impacting the lives of early learners. And so, despite what you might see on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all the fights and stuff, let me tell you, it's not true all over the world. In my world and in your world, brothers are doing it. And so we're featuring positive brothers who are doing it. So today, oh, and I know you're wondering why in heaven's name do I not have my regular bow? Well, I have a hat because our guest today is a milliner. And that is a fancy word for hat maker. So welcome to the show, Mr. Ottis Damon. You may want to say Ottis Damon, and that's not so, because there's an accent mark over the O. His name is Ottis Damon. Otis, welcome to our show. Yay!
Thanks, Nancy.
He's a wonderful young man, and so I'm going to read. He has a long bio, but I just pulled out some excerpts from his bio, and we're so happy that you're here. Ottis Damon presently lives in Atlanta, Georgia, but was born and raised in Hempstead, New York. This exceptionally talented and gifted young man earned a bachelor's degree in community and human services at Empire State College in Saratoga Springs, New York. He's the oldest of six
Yes, six.
children.
Mhm.
Now, he did not cultivate his gift of millinery arts at Saratoga Springs in New York. He actually went back and matriculated at NYC Fashion Institute of Technology in the millinery department where he learned, well, actually, he's self-taught. They just helped him to cultivate his gifts in designing hats. And so today, with his gifts and talents and credentials, this young man has appeared in Fashion Week for years,
Mhm.
and has designed hats for several artists. I mean, it would take me all day to name all the people that he's designed hats for, but I'm just going to name a few. Neo, Music Soul Child, Alicia Keys, Patti LaBelle, the Clark Sisters, Tashina Arnold, Salt and Pepper. Do I need to go on and on? And so we're so happy that you're here. Thank you for coming, Otis. We're
You're
so
welcome. Thank you
glad
for
that
having
you're
me.
here. And I noticed as I was reading your bio, sadly enough, you kind of went full circle, I guess, in your life, right?
Mhm.
Because it says that you not stumbled into hat making, but
Mhm.
as a result of what was going on in your life, this was
Mhm.
the way for you to come out of a depressed state that you were in as a young person. You
Yeah.
had you had thoughts of suicide.
Mhm.
How dark is that? Can you express that to us and explain what was going on?
I really didn't know what was wrong with me. I presented well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, and then I confided in the teacher in high school, who
Yes.
wasn't even my teacher at the time, that I
Mm-hmm.
was contemplating suicide the summer before my 10th grade year. And she had me come to her class and on my lunch every day.
Mm-hmm.
And she never reported it, never called my parents. And I guess as long as she kept seeing me coming, she knew that I would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught me how to sew. So I started sewing first.
Wow.
But I couldn't get that tailored look. I was getting the seamstress look. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was doing kufi hats, which is soft cloth hats and berets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, being at my family, we were all, grew up in church. I
Mm-hmm.
started doing reconstruction hats for my mom and my pastor's wife.
Okay.
Never really wanted to do it for a living. It was
Mm-hmm.
just something that God gave me to just calm the noise in my head,
Yes.
and,
Yes.
keep my emotions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, still. Um, and I didn't want to share it with the world. I didn't want to share it with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then from there, I went to school to be a buyer.
Okay.
The department, one of the teachers, the professors, seen my hats, took me to the department head, and was like, he needs to do an internship with a milliner. And I was like, but that's not what I'm going to school for.
Right.
So,
Right.
they put me with Lola, who was my second mentor. My
Mm-hmm.
first one was Miss Sibley. She
Mm-hmm.
died she died in 94.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then prior to meeting Lola, I knew Mr. Horace,
Mm-hmm.
a lady from church, Alice Jones, who still
Mm-hmm.
made hats, and she introduced me. He was my second mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Then back to school, they put me with Lola, and I submitted for some reason and did the internship with Lola.
Mm-hmm.
Left there, Lola called me back to work with her as one of her assistants.
Wow.
And today, Lola is my last living mentor
Right.
that I'm still in touch with.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now it's amazing that like you were saying, contemplating suicide at such a young age. And there's so many of our young people who contemplate. They're
yeah,
like they think the world is hopeless and no one's listening to them, and they have so many issues and problems. And it's so good that you had a teacher,
yes,
an adult, a
yeah,
mentor that saw something in you and said, "We're going to help him get out
yeah,
of this state." And
yeah,
so, for a lot of parents who are watching, there's there's always hope. There's always hope because parents don't have to do this alone.
yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
parents don't know what to do,
Yeah,
but that's why teachers are so important. You
very
know,
important.
because they
Yeah,
spend a lot of time with the child and they get
yes,
to know the child and they know how you function and how you operate and when things are off. So
yes.
she was your saving grace,
It
right?
was.
Thank
Yep,
God.
yep.
Thank God.
And even from the grave, I'm still accountable.
Isn't that something?
Still accountable.
Yes. So
And
how
she's
are you now? How are you now?
I've learned how to ride the waves.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Moving away from home was necessary
Okay.
11 years ago. And moving, I had no one to fix here when I moved to Atlanta. So
Oh,
I had to get into my stuff.
okay.
And I realized a lot of what I was carrying wasn't mine to carry in the first place.
Wow.
So it lightens.
Explain that because a lot of people get caught up in carrying other people's
Um,
stuff, right?
being the eldest child, the eldest male child at the time, you
Mm-hmm.
know, my parents divorced when I was 6,
Okay.
7.
Okay.
Instantly became the man of the house,
Okay.
and without saying, there were certain things that I felt like I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even leave to go to Germany right after high school as planned because I felt like I was doing what my dad did,
Right.
abandoned us. So I stayed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was that weight. Always trying to find somebody to fix or help,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
some of it good intentions, some of it was validation.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and then at 41, that's when I was like, I gotta move because I had a bad bout with depression in '08.
Okay.
The best thing that ever happened
Mm.
because it made me like really dig deep and
Mhm.
un what is it? Unbuild this thing that I built around myself.
Yes.
Perfect world, which wasn't perfect.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Went to therapy.
Okay.
And being raised in church, and sometimes the confliction is everything is a spirit, everything is not a spirit.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a chemical imbalance,
Okay.
but sometimes things are on a spiritual level.
Okay.
That's a whole nother show.
Right. Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
I want to mention that because I am a Christian. Um,
Yes.
I do believe in Jesus Christ. Uh,
Mhm.
but it's real, and this world is so hard
Yeah.
to I call it life surfing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so I'm at a place now with the hats, where I want to do what my mentors did for me. I want to soul touch.
Mhm.
I want to grab some of our kids because they're so lost. Um, and whatever happens in that's platform for me, that's just extra. But I want to leave a legacy when I'm gone that God can use even when I'm not here.
Oh,
So
that's beautiful.
yeah,
And and even though we're talking about hat making, I just want to not leave this subject because there are so many parents
Mm-hmm.
dealing with children who are depressed, and depression seems to be in kids are suffering from depression younger and younger.
Younger and younger.
And they're acting out in school, and many of them are just like you said, carrying the burden of the world and not even understanding why things
Why?
happen the way they are.
Yep.
So just from your experience, can you give us a few tips that parents might need to follow to help their child? One, we do know, like you said, seek help,
Yeah,
right?
seek help, definitely.
Definitely connect with the teacher, because the teacher
Yes.
can identify things that parents may not see.
Yes.
And so you're saying also medicate. You said that everything is not a spirit.
A
Some things
spirit.
are
Yeah.
chemical imbalance.
Some things are chemical imbalance.
And so what
Because
else would you suggest?
it made me talk more.
Okay.
Some people will close down.
Yes.
Excuse me. You just have to have a keen eye and know your child.
Yes. Yes.
And it's hard when you have multiple children. It's 6 of us.
Okay.
So, and my mom had a lot on her. She was a great mom. She did what she was supposed to do for us. But because she didn't even know until after I graduated.
Wow. From high school or college?
From high school.
Okay.
I told her actually on the train to go to FIT for interview. And Miss Sibley never reported it. So I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah. And times have changed as far as teachers.
Yes.
Like they have to now report that.
Report things, yeah.
Back in the day, maybe they could get away with it, but now that is nothing that parents need to know. That teachers must report it,
yes.
Right? Because that's part of their job.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of resources that can come into the school and come into the home to help, support the family.
Yep.
So teachers are mandated reporters now. That's something you sign the paper and say, I'm a mandated reporter. Otherwise, they can be held accountable for things that happen. So you've given us a lot of tips, and I'm so glad. Thank you, Lord, that you're here.
Yeah.
That you're here and sharing your story with us, because there are parents that, like I said, they're going through so many changes with their children, not knowing what to do. So we just give you some basic things and just listening to your story. And also your email is here. So if anyone wants to reach out to you,
okay,
maybe they can. Is that okay for you?
Fine. That's fine.
So if you see on my screen, folks, you have the Hat Mogul at gmail.com. It's right under my name, the Hat Mogul at gmail.com. And he is welcoming you to contact him if you are, in fact, having an issue with depression or thoughts of suicide. Maybe he can direct you to some resources that we haven't discussed here on this platform. So we thank you. This is a twofold.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you for that. So now we're so glad that from that dark place, you're now in the light.
Yes.
You are really in the light. You're in the spotlight.
It's better on this side.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
And so let me ask. So being a hat maker, like kids might not know, parents might not know. What does that involve? Like I bought this hat at the store. I put it on my head, but I have no idea how this was structured. How did it come to be? So can you give us a little brief education on it?
I always tell people hats are personal.
Okay.
I don't want to kill the people with store-bought. I hate store-bought hats.
Really?
Because they're made for the masses and not for the individual.
Okay.
And we're individuals, not clones. Most people that come to me, they always say, "Oh, I can never find a hat that fit my head," and that's because it's made, for one standard size most of the time.
Okay.
Mainly for Caucasians. They usually have smaller heads.
Okay.
Which is they said the average head size is 22 and a half. I beg to differ. Most of us are 23 or more.
Okay. Adult size.
Adult size, yes.
Okay.
Also in hats, like it all depends on the shape of your face. If you have a round face, like I don't weight, so I got a really round face. I would never put something on that's a small brim. Okay. Because I always tell people you look like Wimpy from Popeye.
Okay, we don't want that.
Wear something a little wider so it could slender this down. So
Okay.
um uh some people, my mom is I'm 5'3", my mom is 5 feet,
Okay.
and she never had a problem with wearing height
Okay.
with her hats, which I was grateful for because she
Mhm.
looked good in them.
Okay.
Some people don't want to wear because they think it's too high. I don't like to see tall people in crowns that are really super high
Oh, why is that?
because it just make them look taller,
Mm-hmm.
especially like 6-footers, 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could be a little bit too much. It all depends.
Okay.
I would go out and maybe with a smaller crown.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. So when you talk about the process of
Yeah.
making a hat, what is it like? How is it started? How do you start
Oh,
the whole process?
so basically, I'll show you. uh,
And look, and so you're in your studio
I'm
now.
in my studio now. Yes.
Oh, well, you can give us a tour too.
Let me grab a hat real quick and a piece of
Okay.
fabric.
Okay. So we get a tour, everybody, of the milliner and his workspace. That's exciting. So I can look around and you guys can look too and see I see materials and different shapes of hats and hat boxes. So he's going to show us what the process looks like when he starts. That's interesting. So you just don't, when you go in the store, if you're like me, you just buy the hat and you put it on. But do you ever think about how it's constructed? Probably not. Okay.
So basically, this is called a hood,
Okay.
and
Okay.
this is beaver felt.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I usually wet this down,
Mm-hmm.
take the wooden mold, and then I tie it down there and let it dry.
Okay.
And then from there, I it's shaped like this into this hat,
Oh,
which
okay.
is a I call it the envelope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You put wire in it and the band
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. And I don't use wool at all. I only use beaver felt for the felts, beaver felt, velour, suede felt, Salome, um, because wool can be really harsh on the skin and the hair, and
Okay.
wool actually breaks your hair off.
Okay. Okay.
I have a friend in LA, and I remember he came to me, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm wearing hats now because my hair is receding right here."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, you're helping it go faster because you're wearing that wool hat
You breaks
without
your hair off.
the lining.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna wear a wool hat, you should wear it with a lining." I've seen wool eat the circumference out of someone's head, and if you're like me, I have eczema,
Okay.
allergic to it anyway.
Okay.
But this is more forgiving.
So do you make men's hats, women's hats? You make all kinds of hats.
All kinds of hats, men's hats, women's hats,
Mm-hmm.
little hats for dogs.
Oh, oh, you'll probably get a lot of people asking for that because dogs fashion. That's
Yeah, exactly.
so
Yep.
let me ask you this. So do you design, like do you like draw a sketch out first or how?
Everything's here.
Oh really? You don't sketch anything?
I don't sketch anything.
Really?
Nothing.
Why is that typical of most milliners or is that just your
Um, Not really. Basically, like when my clients come to me, most of my clients they do some of them do pageants and competitions,
style?
and we get the color scheme. They show me what they're wearing, their
Mm-hmm.
shoes,
Mm-hmm.
their suit or dress or whatever, and we just go from there.
Oh,
Get a sense of
okay.
their personality,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, who they like, what they like, and I just
Mm-hmm.
go from there and create something for them.
So, okay. So how would a parent know
Uh-huh.
if their child is is good with creating a hat? Because I know that's a kinesthetic type of skill. Your hands, but hands and eyes.
And eyes, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I always was I used to draw. I used to always take things apart and put things together. I remember making like this little fake record player.
Mhm.
It didn't work, but it looked like
Mhm.
a record player
Mhm.
with different pieces from toys.
Mhm.
I was always building stuff.
Okay.
But I was always creative and artistic. Like I said, I didn't want to do this for a living. I wanted to go into either child psychology or,
Oh, okay.
or pediatrics.
Okay, because children,
Yeah,
helping children.
but without having a degree, for me, this is like art therapy.
Really?
So that's why I have a studio and not a store.
So, okay, got you. Okay.
Because I'm not. It's more purpose driven than money driven. I need the money to maintain.
Yes.
But it has more purpose than
Mm-hmm.
just getting that sale for me.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So, like I was saying as I was reading your bio, it's funny how many people go into one field and get a degree that they never use.
Never
Did
use.
you ever use your degree in human services or?
I was a building inspector in my hometown, a building and code official in my hometown.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna run for village trustee because these jokers don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
So I went and got my degree in community development, and God had a whole nother plan. Thank God. Them Negroes would have killed me.
Okay. Okay.
Because I care too much.
Okay.
And it's
giving up yourself so much.
And it would take more than one person to invoke change for the village of Hempstead.
Wow. So you landed where you're supposed to be.
I landed where I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for parents who have students with multiple gifts and talents, what do you suggest? Like you said, you build things. I notice people who are kinesthetically talented, they can transfer one skill to another.
Yes.
Like you're a hat maker, but you also are probably very good in putting things together.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So what do you suggest for a parent who has a child who is kinesthetically gifted? What kinds of things should a parent expose their child to? Not just hat making, but other things that are related.
Anything creative, fine arts, theater, after school programs or summer programs. If they can, try to find them a mentor.
Yes.
Not an abuser, a mentor.
A mentor. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish I had found or stayed with someone at their feet. Like I told Lola a few weeks ago, I wish I had stayed at your feet a little while longer. Because I have the aesthetics, but to learn the business aspects of it.
Got you.
Better. Okay. I told us so I had to talk to a class during the pandemic in South Carolina. And I told them to learn the business, learn how the money works, learn the marketing. Because I never wanted to do this as a business. This was my medicine for so long.
Okay.
It only became my business full time in the past 7 years, even though I've been doing it for 37 years.
You've been doing it for 37.
But I've always worked another job.
Okay.
It was never my main thing until like 7 years ago, 100% full throttle I went in.
So what made you wait so long?
Not dealing with crap from people at these jobs.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not doing this, know.
Right.
Like God told Moses, what's in your hand? And I just looked at my hands and was like, let's go.
Okay.
Scary, trying. The front of the house always looks better than what the back of the house looks like.
Yes.
Fine. Like right now, and thank God it's not just me, because it helps me not go into that vein of saying, what am I doing wrong? Yes. Right now, the country is weird with economics. All of my friends that are makers, it's like we're all struggling trying to figure it out.
Okay.
The good part is, like where my studio is, I'm with an artist incubator called Push Arts.
Okay.
And the blessing in that is I don't have to figure it all out by myself.
Good.
And I have other creatives. Creatives think differently.
Yes.
Than others.
Yes.
And we're a whole different tribe by ourselves. And it's good to bounce stuff off of each other. So I'm grateful for that. So Push. I've been with them a little over 2 years.
Is that a national organization or just based in Atlanta?
They're based here, but they go all over to do different things.
It's called Push.
Push Arts.
Oh, Push Arts. Okay.
Yeah. But they're based here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, good.
In College Park. Yeah.
Push Arts. Okay, that's another resource that maybe people may want to look up if they want to collaborate or build their skills. So just kind of
Yes.
try to figure it out. Because like you
Yes.
said, sometimes you just have to figure it out. But for
Have to figure it out.
parents with small children, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
Trying to figure it out. And I
Thank
think
you.
too, I always say the parents should expose their children to as many possibilities, as much as possible. But my
Yeah.
other word is as much as appropriate, you
Yes.
know?
Yep.
So make sure it's something that's appropriate for your
Appropriate.
child.
Yes.
Anything's possible, but everything's not appropriate.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I have another question. It says, can you draw a picture of a hat that you would like to wear? So you don't have to draw us a picture because you said you already answered that for me.
Yeah. I don't.
You draw it, the picture is drawn
It's
in
all here.
mind.
Yeah.
So when kids see people with different hats, is there a reason why? Like if a little kid they see hats, they know a firefighter wears a hat.
Yeah.
You know, a police officer wears a hat.
Mm-hmm.
So they know a mail carrier wears a hat, some of them, for different jobs. What are some of the other reasons why maybe women might wear a hat? Like I wore this hat today to impress our guests.
Some is for fashion, some is protection of the sun.
Okay.
Some is religious reasons. Like I said, some is I said some is fashion already.
Yeah. But that's good. Fashion, sun,
religious, yeah, pretty much.
Now, do you think we're getting, like, especially the Black church? You know,
Yes.
back in the day, we wore hats.
Those are my first clients.
A lot of women wearing hats anymore. Is that a dying fad?
Except for the Church of God in Christ, they still go hard with their hats.
Okay.
But a lot of women now are into their hair and braids. So it's a lot of them don't wear hats anymore.
Okay.
Because even in what I noticed with my clients when I used to make hats for them, as they got older, they toned down more. So they was more, more modest,
right?
Not really wearing all the hats and stuff like that.
Do you think because of, and I'm not trying to say anything negative, but with a lot of the wigs and the weave hair and stuff, do you think women refuse to wear hats because of their hair? Is that
played a big part?
A big part, okay.
Big part, yeah. Okay. Everybody's into the hair and the weaves and all of that stuff now. So
would you be making hats more for like you make hats for a lot of the artists? So would that be for Broadway shows, concerts?
I was doing a lot of stuff for movie and film, and then they had a strike last year.
Oh,
so it's been very slow. So my first actually my first one was in the 90s with Cheryl Lewis, who's a playwright, and it was called off-Broadway play called Look What the Cat Drug In.
Wow.
And then far as TV, it was Being Mary Jane with Gabrielle Union.
Yes.
I did the blusher that she wore as she was eulogizing her friend that ironically committed suicide.
Wow.
Which was like, wow, I can't believe this is the scene that I'm making this for.
Yeah. How did that affect you?
I didn't watch it at first because I had no idea what it was for. And then when I sat down and watched it, I'm a waterhead anyway, and I cried like a baby because it was a twofold. It was the reason why she was wearing it, and I got the chance to have my stuff on her and Margaret Avery, who played her mother, who was Shook from The Color Purple.
Yes.
She wore a piece, and then there was two ladies in the audience that had pieces on. So they have 4 of my pieces. The next show is Neo with Step Up. After that, it was, and I hated that they canceled this show because it was during the pandemic, American Soul, which was like the story of Soul Train with Don Cornelius.
Oh, yeah.
I did the hat for DC Fly, who played Sly Stone.
Yes.
And then there was a white, I forgot the actor name, white gentleman who played Elton John. I did his hat.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay. So you have like that list of stars.
I got a few. I need a few more, but I got a few.
So how do they contact you? Do you like to have an agent or something, or how does that work for you?
No, most of it is word of mouth
Word of mouth.
and social media.
Really?
Mainly Instagram
Okay.
for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I tell people, I said, it's all about it. I don't care how good you are, what you got. It's your integrity and your character.
Yes. Talk about that.
That
Talk
that
about that.
that goes a long way. Because at
Mm.
the end of the day, all you have is your name.
Name. Can you please say that again? Because
Or-
we're losing. Where people are losing that point.
because all you need to have good character
Mm-hmm.
and good integrity.
Good integrity.
Because all
Yeah.
you have is your name.
And
Because
your word. Your
and
word.
your word, you
Yeah.
have to. And
Yeah.
and if you mess up, because we're human, we're not perfect.
Right.
Own it. Just
Right.
own it.
And you know what? It's so funny because that's another thing, another uh, concept that
Mm-hmm.
early learners, I think, should learn early.
Yes.
When we talk about character building and integrity, those types of things will take you so far because you can have, like you said, you can be the most talented person in the world, but if you act ugly
Yes.
and treat people mean and just constantly negative, no one wants to be bothered with you.
Nobody.
People will tend to they'll tend to be attracted to the person who's kind,
Exactly.
polite, and
Yes.
treat you with respect. So those are things that we have to learn, that we have to get away from, because when you look at the internet today, it's like the wild wild west.
It's Wild Wild
And
West.
if our children are looking at that, they believe that's how the world functions, and that
Yeah.
is the furthest thing from the truth. You
Yep.
know, so parents with early learners, that's one thing. Whether you're a hat maker or whether you're a sanitation worker, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You have to be able to stand on being polite and kind to people.
Yeah.
You know.
Confidence over ego.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
Because
Now,
like I tell people all the time, this is a gift.
yes.
I can have one, God forbid, one bad accident, and I'm done.
Wow.
I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is my baby.
Yes.
He gave me this, so I have to nurture it.
Nurture it, cultivate it.
Yeah.
Okay, to take care of it and display. Now,
Yeah.
let me say, have you since you're dealing with young people from time to time, have
Mm-hmm.
you seen any creative uh, children who you think would be future milliners or hat makers?
That's what
You
I'm
don't
looking.
even know that they are.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And I know once I see that person or persons,
Mm-hmm.
those will be my mentee.
So what would you look for specifically?
Because
Child.
it's so funny because I just had a conversation with somebody. It's like I'm now my mentors, especially Miss Sibley, because she was everybody called me a protege
Okay.
in school.
Okay.
And um you'll see the wheels turning in them as they're working, what they pick, how they put it together,
Mm-hmm.
how they figure out placement,
Mm-hmm.
the balance
Mm-hmm.
of what is it called? Embellishments,
Yes.
all of that stuff.
Okay. It would be interesting if you were able to get maybe kids who maybe from other backgrounds that are kinesthetically gifted. Because to me,
Yes.
like I said, I've seen, like, for example, my husband,
Uh-huh.
he is kinesthetically gifted. He can build anything with his hands. If he sees it, he probably could be a very good milliner.
Milliner, yeah.
What he does is transfer his skills, because what he'll do is sit back,
Excuse me.
figure it out, and then his hands goes to work. And that's
Yeah.
what people who are kinesthetically gifted do.
Yeah.
They use their bodies to navigate through the
Navigate.
world,
Yeah.
right? So I guess as you look around, just look for those children,
Yeah.
just pop out at you,
Yep.
and just use their hands, use their bodies to manipulate, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Transfer those skills and say, those that bounce at basketball
Yeah.
are probably very good at building a hat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yes,
just
definitely.
transfer these. So maybe go to some courts and see how they handle
Exactly.
basketball. That's non-traditional.
Yeah.
You might find a Milliner right in that
Right
group.
in that, right in the group. Yeah.
Yes, because I remember when I was little, I remember there was a boy in our neighborhood. I don't know where he is, who he is now, but I remember he used to make costumes.
Oh wow.
Like newspaper and
Yeah.
and brown paper bags. But very creative. But nobody was paying him any attention because we didn't know about gifts and talents then.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was definitely gifted, but he
yeah.
didn't have a mentor like you. We probably just
Yeah,
laughed him away, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I
definitely.
think for you, you might have to start looking at other places. Where you
Yeah,
know how to
definitely.
kind of at sports arenas or
Yeah,
kids who can cook well or just, you know, anything that they're doing
little
with their
things.
bodies. They're
Yeah,
navigating through the world using their body. That's so,
because
so
I never wanted to sew or anything. I like nice things,
yes.
but far from it. I never thought I would be sewing anything.
And it comes easy for you,
It
doesn't
comes
it?
easy, yeah.
Doesn't and most people like me, I can't even put the thread through the needle. It took me 10 minutes of needle, like I can't
Well,
put
listen, with these 50-year-old eyes, now I'm using this.
in my 66-year-old eyes, I had to use that too because I said, "Oh my God!" I wanted to call my husband at work and say, "Can you come and thread this?"
Yo.
So, can you give us a tour of your? And I wanted you to show us a hat, an outlandish hat. So,
Okay, I'll show
can you
you.
give us a tour of your studio? We'd like to see that.
All right, it's a mess in here, but
That's
it's
okay. You're
no judgment.
creative. That's okay.
So this is the sitting area. That's a mess right now.
Mm.
These are some hats that I need to get rid of.
You made those?
Yeah, I made everything over here.
Oh, okay. So those are ladies and gentlemen, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, yo.
Mm-hmm. So you just put it together. You just think about it and make it.
Put it together. Yo.
Okay.
This is one of my.
Now I like that little tan number.
This one. Which one? This one here?
The third one. I think it's like a top.
That
yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has porcupine quills on the side.
Oh, I like that.
This one has a short back.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And I call that the driver.
Okay.
Because
that's a man's hat, right?
It's a man or woman's.
Oh, okay.
But when you're driving, you can sit back without the brim hitting the back of the headrest. So that's why I call it the driver.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
These are some of my beaver hats.
Oh, look at that.
These are the little dog hats I was telling you about.
Oh, look, hold it up high. Because you know our dog lovers. Our dog lovers. Look, they're going to want their dog to have a hat. My daughter, she probably said, "Oh, I want it from Clyde."
Little top hat.
That's for a dog?
Yeah, that's for a dog too.
Let me see that.
They started out as being little fascinators.
Uh-huh.
And then I put them on one of my Yorkies. And I was like, you know what? These folks are paying money for all these dogs' clothes and hats. Let me make some dog hats.
That's cute. Okay.
These are fascinators here.
So you do a lot of beaver skin and things like that, huh?
I love beaver. I really like the winter hats more than summer.
Okay.
Because I can be a little more creative. These are my machines right here. They were made in 1874. I had all of them restored.
Really?
And each one of them worked. I have 7 of them.
Okay. So the historical, there's history there.
Yes.
So that's what they used in the 1800s.
Yeah, but they used a foot pedal. Now you can put a pulley on it with a motor. Okay. These are all my hat molds. I'll back up some so you could see. Okay. These are from all over the world. These are the shapes that I use for my hats.
Okay. So if a person wants a high top, then you got a mold for that.
I got a mold for I got men's fedora crowns.
Fedora, okay. Well, what kind of hat is this called that I have on? This little straw hat.
That's like a fedora.
Fedora, okay.
Yeah, a dimple crown fedora.
So what's the most common hats for men and women?
Fedoras.
Fedoras, okay. Yeah. That's basically what you see in like the malls and things, fedoras.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are little fascinators I made. This one is my sister's. I got to put stones on it.
So now tell me, what's the deal with a fascinator? Why is it called a fascinator?
I don't even know, but they remember when back in the 90s when everybody was doing all the women were doing the French rolls.
Yes.
They were trying to put me out of business. So I came up with these headbands,
Okay.
not knowing that they were called fascinators
Okay.
back then. And I would do stuff like this.
They wear those to like the derbies and
They
things.
wear it to the derbies.
Yes.
Some Kojic wear them. You know, they have them all blinged out.
Okay. Okay.
Another one with a velvet.
And the bow there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
This hat I just did last night for a client.
Okay, is that beaded?
It's straw. It has some kind of ornate kind of.
Can you push the parrot so we can see the whole thing? We'll just see the top. I don't see.
Oh, you just see the top. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's nice.
So that's a straw hat.
Okay. So now, did you make the little decoration things?
This I purchased.
Okay.
So like I'll see stuff and I'll purchase it and
put it
all together.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a feather spine in it.
And how long does something like that take?
This took me a couple of days because I have to keep spraying it to have it stiff.
Okay.
Because the straw is very flimsy.
Mm-hmm.
But now it has structure to it where it's not bending.
That's very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is another client's hat that I'm working on. A friend from high school. Actually, he's my niece's dad.
Okay. Oh, he got the pin.
Yeah, he got a kilt pin in there.
Okay.
So most of my clients, they want stuff that's different.
Right.
So.
And that's why you say you work in the studio and not like
a store. Yeah, because most people that come to a boutique, they're looking for a certain price range.
Okay.
And this is my machine that I work on.
Oh, that's the machine you work on. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the motor it's on.
Okay.
But back in the day, it was just the foot pedal in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So how, for example, for a fedora, like a basic hat like this, how long does it normally take to make?
I made a cowboy hat in 24 hours.
Really?
Somebody a guy or one of my clients needed it. He had got word to do this photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Otis, I just got the information. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything? I said, I don't have anything. But I wasn't going to see that money walk.
Right.
So I got to it right away. And he picked it up the next day at 1 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Now let me ask, do you make cowboy hats?
I do. His was a cowboy hat. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay. I asked that question because last year we went to New Mexico.
Yeah.
My husband was determined we went to St. Cruz's, and my husband was determined to get a cowboy hat, and we had to drive all over until we found this store. They exclusively made cowboy hats. We were there. Yup. His is black though. Oh, that's sharp.
Yeah.
That's sharp. Bring it up closer. Let me see. Yes, that's nice.
Actually, Michelle Boyd is on HGTV. He's an interior designer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not. Let me tell you, we just watched the girl. She steamed it.
Yeah, you steam it.
Stand there and while she rolled it and steamed it. We were there for like an hour.
Yeah, I have it. Actually, I didn't even show y'all that stuff.
Okay.
This is called
Why did she have to do that to turn?
Because the steam, you need the steam to bend the felt. But this is my hat block. This is to stretch the hat.
Okay.
And it gets really hot.
Okay.
Thank God it's off. This is I have two steamers. This is one steamer. And I put the felt inside here and get it saturated. Okay. Can you see that good?
Yes, I saw it. Yes, we can. Okay.
And this is my gravity iron.
Okay.
Which the water is up there. And then this is another steamer that I use.
So what is a gravity iron? How is that different from a regular?
It's water up there in the in that thing there, and what it does, it gives it more steam.
Okay.
It gets really hot. It's better than your average home what is it called? Iron.
Iron, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's a cowboy hat I did also right here.
Oh, that's sharp.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Can you take that off? I like that. That's a male or female?
Either one.
Either one.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
So
Yes, and when we got his hat, and he loves his hat, I should have. I wish I could go get it. We had to let the girl. She just steamed it and
she just steamed it. Yep.
rolled it. We were sitting there like, okay, and
Yeah.
we waited until because she did that for each individual customer.
Yeah. Yep.
She had her own little area where she steamed your hat in front of you to fit the size of your head.
Yep.
You know.
That's
So let me tell. So hat making, the prices range from like what's like the lowest price? Lowest price.
my lowest price is usually like $325.
Like $325.
Uh-huh.
Woo! So
Yeah.
let me are you giving classes? Let's see. I'm doing math. $325.
Actually,
I think I had it down for good. If I do 4 hats, what?
yeah.
You do 4 hats a week. You doing all right?
The highest I've gone so far, because it all depends on what you want too.
Yeah.
So the highest hat I think was 1,600
Yeah.
that I've made so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really cheaper than most that's out there that's professional.
Okay.
You have these, I hate to say it, but you have these imposters
Okay.
that are embellishers,
Yes.
and they're saying they're milliners and they're not.
So
I didn't
I'm
even
glad you
use the
brought that
word.
up. I'm glad you brought that up because we're not trained. We don't have the training. We don't have the background. Yeah. Most people, we go into a store. Like I went into a store, I bought the hat off the rack. But if I were to go, and that's a good point that you're making. If I were to go to a milliner, how would I be able to detect as a consumer if that is a real, authentic person who's trained?
You would see all this stuff that I just showed you.
Okay. Okay.
If you go into a regular hat store and it's just racks of hats, you know, sometimes I like for people to see the process.
Okay.
You know, or at least glance at what I do and then tell them what it is.
Right.
But most of I was telling a friend of mine, I said Amazon is like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yes.
Because these Negroes is buying hats already made, and then they throw embellishment. They go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and then they, you know, and I've done that in the past. But is the ones that use the title of milliner, that they're milliners, and they're not.
Isn't that something? Because you actually have credentials.
Yeah.
That you've gone to school for.
Yeah, I took one class. Lola wanted me to go through all, but the professor that I had, she was so horrible that I never went back. Okay. And I just picked up wherever I could. I had some great mentors.
Right.
I have a friend in Bristol, Tennessee, Blythe, Winslow Savage.
Okay.
And she goes across the world to take classes.
Okay.
Which I think is awesome. She just came to me to do a weekly class.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you said that because you know, we go online and we believe everything that we see online.
Yeah.
They can take a hat, like you said, and embellish it, and we'll say, "Oh, they're so wonderful." When in fact, they're just taking a regular hat from a store and adding.
I get so many people that bring stuff to me, and they want me to fix it because whoever they got it from, and then the person wasn't integral enough to take their call to fix it.
Right. Is there a directory of milliners like in the United States? Is there a place we can go and search?
No, everybody usually find me through Google. Thank God.
Okay. But is there a specific directory of, let's say, milliners in the U.S.?
No? Not that I know of.
Okay. No. So, is there a milliners association? That's something we need to look into.
That's what I need to look into. And you know what it is?
Or start.
And you know what? It bothers me that I look at my other counterparts that are non-Black.
Yes.
In this field, and on the outside looking in, it's like they really knit well together. Whereas us, we're here, we're there, and we just not. There's no closeness.
Yes.
You know,
maybe you can help start association or something.
I think it has to start here first.
Okay.
for some
Yeah,
of
go
us.
ahead. Yeah, okay.
Um, I tell everybody the real pandemic was narcissism.
Wow. Yeah, explain that. What do you mean by that?
Because some of us, we think we're so big that we just can't be taught anything. Or
Okay.
I tell everybody, there's a lot more that I can learn in this
Yes.
craft.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just know my part and I know what I like
Okay.
thus far.
Okay.
But there's other things, and there's some things like they do over in like the UK. The UK is huge.
Okay.
With millinery.
Culinary.
And
Okay.
it's like going to school to be a doctor over there.
Oh, really?
And some of their stuff really intimidates me.
Okay. Okay.
It intimidates me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting because like I said, this is like a field that nobody that I know that I didn't
Yeah.
explore or think about until I thought about you coming on as a guest talking to my sister, and I was like, it's something to. It's really a craft
Yes.
that we need to expose ourselves to, our
Yeah.
communities to. Maybe bring back some of those old traditions.
Yep. And that's why I won't get rid of, because now they're using like these plastic mold forms, and you can use anything, but
Mhm.
I focus my aesthetics on the old
Okay.
of yesterday.
Yes.
The machines, the hat blocks,
Yes.
because it's like a dying trade. So I'm
Yes.
trying to preserve,
Yes.
even if I don't become a millionaire,
Mhm.
maybe I can leave all this to some HBCU and at least get my picture and my name on a
Yeah.
plaque
Yeah.
somewhere.
Right. Right.
you know,
And I hate that it's a dying trade. Do you think what would we need to do to just stir the pot a little bit? Just
everything
get
is
the word out. Maybe if they watch some Learning with Miss Nancy
exactly,
look at the video.
exactly.
But do you think like maybe having because I know with my sorority, I work with a group called the Toy Library, and
Uh-huh.
we had a hat maker come
Oh,
to
awesome.
our and we exposed that whole idea of hat making to the children, and she
Yeah,
did steaming. It was online because we were still like in the pandemic mode, but
yeah.
she sort of showed the mold and the
Uh-huh.
steam and the iron and the kids were able to see that you just don't go into a store and plop a hat on your
Pop
head.
a
It's
hat on
a
your head.
process.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
do you think like maybe more schools could have after school clubs? Because maybe there would be an interest if people knew more about it,
It
the
would be
availability.
good,
Hmm.
because like after my high school teacher died from cancer, they shut her course down. She was the department head. She
Okay.
did entrepreneurship and
Hmm.
home ec,
Okay.
and their reasoning was they couldn't. There was nobody that was qualified.
Okay.
My whole thing is that this class and this person sacrificed their life
Right.
to save so many students' lives.
Right. Right.
You have the means and the resources. Find somebody that's
Right.
qualified.
Right. Find somebody.
Not having somebody that's qualified is a cop out to me.
Right. Right. Right.
You're the highest paid in the well, at the time they were the highest paid school district in the country.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
find somebody and
Yeah.
stop wasting money,
Yeah. Right.
because these kids need something.
Yes. Well, I'm just going to suggest to you because you are so gifted and talented.
Mhm.
The Zoom platform is a wonderful platform to maybe just start small, and
Okay.
people have your email address.
Yes.
A way to expose children having like a Zoom session. So those who
Okay.
might be interested just to get information and you can show them the process. It's nothing like hands-on,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
maybe
Definitely.
just doing like a little session here and there.
Hmm.
Um, you know, the hat mogul is
Yeah.
presenting today how to make a hat or the first steps in making a hat. And just educate people.
Yeah.
You never know what early learner is sitting back saying, "No, that's something I might want to look into."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
these little kid, even like cats, that's something
Yeah.
that you make, right?
I used to. Yeah. I used to
But
make
I'm
those.
saying everybody,
Everybody
all the
was.
boys
Yeah.
wear cats.
Yeah. Yep.
Teams, like these teams that wear baseball cats. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Nike
Yeah.
makes hats all the time. So
Yeah.
we don't have to start with luxury hats. We can just have hats for everyday use.
Yeah.
That might be something to think about.
Yeah.
Having like a workshop just to see where the interest lies.
And that's what I'm starting to do. I'm about to offer workshops.
Okay.
As soon as I stop traveling so much,
Yes.
I'm traveling with my sister. But I'm actually coming to Pittsburgh possibly in August,
Okay.
and they're putting me up to do a 8 hour workshop.
Wow.
for
Okay.
this. I forgot the name of the thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't even have the paper next to me,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
they got theater, they got it's just arts and everything under the arts umbrella.
Okay. And people should know who you are because there people are still doing plays. They may not be
Yeah.
in Broadway, but cities have local theaters. You
Yes.
know, always in need of
Hmm.
someone with your skill.
Yes.
We just have to let folks know that the Hat Mogul is available.
Yeah.
You know, and you
And this,
let us know if you're going to do a workshop, and we will definitely get the word out. We will get
okay.
the word out. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness, this has been a wonderful, wonderful. And look, we've gone over because it's almost time for us to close. But I want everyone watching,
Okay.
please contact Ottis Damon
Yeah.
if you're interested in learning more about the millinery arts. If you want to know more information about how to get started, if you have a child who's gifted and talented and making hats at home and you
Hmm.
don't know what to do with that baby,
Yeah.
send them over to Mr. Ottis, okay?
Yeah.
And so his email address is thehatmogul@gmail.com. Thehatmogul@gmail.com. And I will tell you, he will get back to you. He got back to me just like that, too.
Yeah.
And also, for those of you who are visiting for the first time, please remember to click the subscribe button so that
Mm.
you can always see videos from Learning with Miss Nancy. So, you have any last comments or anything to say to my lovely audience?
No, just thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Of course.
I'm a person.
Mhm.
So, you know, anybody could have had this gift. I'm glad that it was given to me.
Amen.
Um, and just like if you have a kid out there, just kind of invest in your child.
Yes.
I know times is hard, the money is few and far between, but sometimes it's you don't even have to spend a lot. You just find there's programs out there. A lot of stuff is hidden, but
Yes.
it's out there.
It's out there. Yes. And listen to your story. You
Yeah,
are a story of inspiration. The Lord
thank
took you
you.
from the darkness and
Yep,
brought you into his marvelous light. Yes.
yep, yep.
So thank you so much,
You're
uh,
welcome.
Otis Damon.
Yeah.
Thank you all for visiting Learning with Miss Nancy. And until next time, I hope to see you next week because we always have another brother coming to share some good news with you. Thank you, Otis.
Thank
Bye
you. Have a
bye.
good one.
And thank you.